And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is War Commander Unshackled, and we are back for another, fantastic shit show, as we usually do every week. There's a bunch of shit to go through tonight, and of course, because it hasn't been done yet, we're also going to run through the Unshackled state of the game for the rest of this year. And we're going to go all the way back to January of January of 2017 to December of 2017. And we're going to go through it all. And it's going to be one of those kind of nights. So sit back, get a beer, have a drink, have a smoke, do what you do. And away we go, as it were. On the panel this evening, we have Doxing Debo, we have the Dutchman himself, we have Fuck You, we have Micaiah, we have the legendary Pascal, we have the not-so-real fake Slim Shady, we have Mr. Lionel Richie himself, and of course myself, the indomitable, the immortal, the ever-pissed-off Dr. Phil. So how are we doing tonight? Gentlemen.
Hey, I just now tried to jump and it says, sorry, Commander, I'm not able to relocate your base at this time.
Well, shit.
I jumped out and I tried jumping back in, and that's what I got.
Well, shit. So, there is
maybe they disabled it.
Lot to go through tonight. So, oh, fuck, no, I wanted to share the screen, not cancel it, you fucking idiot. Come on, Phil. How long have you been doing this now?
It's always something. It's always something.
I've always got to screw up one thing or it's not right. So tonight's downtime and release from our CM Bernie is, of course, that really brutal image right there that I quite like. Release note 7.9. No, 7.49. No one ever puts the release number in there before. That's confused me a bit, but okay. The following changes and fixes have been applied on the Wednesday 12/6 update, which would be the 6th of December for all you real people who need the real date. Warpath is obviously live, and we'll go over that shortly. The December Gear Store update is also live, which we shall go over that shortly. And Jericho Tech will remain in the Gear Store as last chance through December due to an issue preventing it from being displayed for players in November. This includes Arc Loader and Rapid Fire Tech. Now, if you don't have either of those tech and you have a Jericho, just get the tech. For the love of fucking God. It's dirt cheap. Just buy it. And then quit fucking complaining. I don't have the tech. I don't have the tech. You've had ample opportunity to get it. And you've got another month to get it. So get the fucking tech. Air PvP Platoon, Air Sigma. And there are some issues with this already. The permanent PvP Air Platoon is now available. Units damaged in Air Sigma benefit from a 50% faster repair time. Air Sigma will be available even after Warpath ends. Air Sigma will also be replacing one of the current PvP platoons, which will cause that platoon to be disbanded if currently in use. All troops in the disbanded platoon will be moved to storage. Now, I just encountered this, ironically. Usually you can repair PvP platoons separately to normal standard platoons and raid platoons, enabling you to have multiple repair queues for your particular units. Now, I had a unit in my standard platoon, standard air, and a damaged unit in a PvP platoon, in the air PvP platoon. You cannot repair both of them at once. Some people say you can. Some people say they can. I cannot. So, Kicks, I need to get that fixed relatively quickly if they're going to allow that kind of thing. Because that is currently busted. A brand new raid base. The older gold cave base is being replaced by a new gold base. Challenge bases 25, 40, and 90 have been updated. There are no challenge bases currently on the map, so there's no way to find out what happened. And the general fixes and improvements. Players no longer receive a 2033 error when visiting or attacking a depot. Player attack logs no longer get stuck loading. A display issue causing player-owned deposit hit point bars to show is depleted has been fixed. Moving buildings around inside of a depot will no longer trigger an error. An issue causing platoons to get stuck while attacking has been fixed. The Elite Blackout image now displays correctly in production buildings. An issue causing the standard Blackout model to appear for the Elite Blackout has been fixed. A schematic portrait for the Draken has been added to the game. An issue causing bases not to pay out some prizes to some players has been fixed. And the following issue was fixed prior to today's release, which was the Blackout boss base issue, and that has also been fixed. Now, with the Blackout thing, some people... Now, this is the lottery system because it was being put up in a support ticket rather recently by a couple of people. If you did do the Blackout boss bases during those particular dates over the weekend and you weren't getting paid out, some players have been given 2 of each Draken tech. Some players have been given a Shadow Ops part for the Siege Squadron and tech. And some players that got affected didn't get shit.
Fuck you, Kixeye.
You heard it from the man himself. Now, I don't know what this entails so far. It just seems to be the lottery-based system that a bunch of people got screwed on. And even the guys that got screwed and are behind on Shadow Ops aren't getting some of the stuff that they should have got. I don't particularly agree with people getting Siege Squadron parts, even if they're behind or not. They should have been given the same compensation as everybody else. But, of course, Kixeye being Kixeye, it's one rule for one and one rule for every bugger else. I got the two of each tech, which I'm perfectly happy with. But if you were behind on the Shadow Ops, you should have remained behind on the Shadow Ops. Because what I don't want, because I haven't seen it yet, is for people to start getting a week ahead. Because this particular Shadow Ops and the last one all ran on the 8 weeks. Everybody had that Blackout at the same time. Or had the opportunity for the Blackout at the same time. And this is some verkrachten by Kixeye doing what Kixeye do best and screw everybody in the process. Which I do not like. But of course, it's on another one of those Dr. Phil's been bitching and pissing and moaning about something new again because of whatever reason that Dr. Phil likes to complain. So there is always that. And we go straight on to the Warpath, and we'll skip the blurb because why bother with it? Honor bands have been widened, meaning that high-level players have more targets that award honor. And the PvP Air Platoon has been permanently added to the game, as well as the updated Blood Market. We already know about Air Sigma, and Warpath starts, it's already started. It started at 1 PM PST on the 6th, and will end at 1 PM PST on the 11th, which is a Monday. So there is also that. During Warpath, players will earn honor from base engagement, blah, blah, blah. We already know how that happened, how that works. The permanent damage protection, the damage protection bubble will be placed over the players during Warpath, blah, blah, blah. Permanent damage prevents you from attacking the same player again. Permanent damage protection also prevents you being attacked multiple times by the same player. Permanent damage protection expires at the end of the round. Repair times for base defenders have been reduced by half while Warpath is active. Regular protection times have been reduced to 4 hours during Warpath. The Warpath leaderboard tracks all players engaging in PvP. Players are ranked into divisions from highest to lowest. And we already know how that works. And if you want to look at something on the Warpath leaderboard, I would suggest you do that. Ironically, the Warpath leaderboard actually works. Compared to the last one where it didn't. Rewards will be issued after the conclusion of round 1. Prizes are based off your honor rating as shown below, which is the same stuff as last time around. 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0, and 150k and a trophy and 110k in the trophy, and then 80, 60, 50, and 25
Trophies
for
suck.
the divisions.
The
The
payout
Diamond
happens-
Trophy.
Sorry, that
Pardon?
payment happens on the maintenance. It's always a big question, people. The payouts happened after the next maintenance, so it's not when it ends, but the next maintenance after that. So it takes a few days for the payouts to
It
come
will
out.
be on the 11th after the conclusion. It just said that. Where the hell's it gone? Rewards will be paid out based on the total sum of honor during Warpath.
It's just part of the
You're
maintenance.
equating the conclusion of the event, not the actual payout period.
Yeah.
So, and I would err on the side of caution and go with yes. It's probably going to be the maintenance immediately.
It probably will be
following,
the maintenance.
And
So the
don't be all up
trophies
in
are
arms.
here for the diamond and the gold trophies. Oh no, that's a bit. That's a gold trophy where it should be a platinum trophy. That's a bit backwards, but okay. Honor system, we all know how that works already. We've already been doing that already, so we don't need to go through this again. The honor system has been updated to expand the available targets in the sector, greatly increasing the opportunity and potential honor rewards. It's been retuned to feel more fair for players at all levels. While you may still have to jump to sectors to find targets to attack, the need for this should be a bit lower. Although, no, it shouldn't, because I will go from sector to sector and bubble everything I can find. Because why not? Why restrict yourself to one sector when you can go and bubble half a dozen?
Because it resets your honor.
We'll get to that.
At the moment. At the moment it does.
I'm loving this because I know how these styles of events work. So I made out like a bandit last time. I'm going to work out well this time again. Don't rush it. It's my.
No, don't rush it. You've got 5 full days. And I mean, the plan is for the moment to let all these idiots who will run out and get 6, 7, 8,000 by Thursday night, Friday night. And by the time I get done with all my shit for the week, I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday to go and collect just as much shit as I want. And barely have anybody stand in the way to do it. Because those kind of players are probably the stupidest ones. Oh, look at me. I've got 10K in 24 hours.
That's all right.
Well done.
I'll take half of your shit in one attack.
Exactly.
All right, that's an exaggeration.
And those are the kind of players to target. I mean, for some of the higher level guys, it'll be a bit more difficult and a bit more expensive than going after the low to mid 40 through 42, 43, where my usual target band is a decent honor. But it'll be a good payout at the end of it. So, of course, we already know how honor works. An honor can only be earned once per player engagement, which I still find that rule fantastic. And the pink bubble. The pink bubble's pretty fucking hilarious. Well, we'll pass to that. If you can only attack the specific player once, we already know how that works. Any attempt will trigger a permanent damage protection, regardless of the result. Other forms of damage protection will still be visible if you had not engaged in an attack with a specific player during the Warpath event. Regular protection bubbles were reduced to 4 hours during Warpath. Now, if you were bubbled after maintenance before Warpath started, you only get a 4-hour bubble. If you were bubbled before the maintenance, that bubble will continue. However, those particular bubbles last about a day if you got bubbled right before the maintenance. So you've got about a day and a couple of hours, maybe. Blood thorium is earned after Warpath ends. You can only earn blood thorium through PvP and only when Warpath is active. Open the blood market, blah, blah, blah. Now, the exchange has slightly differed. The tokens are still there, but the blood market has been updated to include the Roland, Weaver, Oren, Nyx, Ardra, and Sunder, the 3 blood thorium each. if you don't have any of those heroes, they're probably a good idea to pick up. And then you don't have to farm 800,000 medals to do it.
I just want to add one little piece of information. Be very cautious when exchanging your blood thorium later on.
Lonnie.
Well, yeah, that and the imagery for both the tokens and the unit itself are very similar, so you could accidentally waste your, request for a unit and accidentally hit the token or request for the token and click on the unit. Although I'm not sure, obviously, if you have the unit, you're going to go for the token. I'm not sure it would actually deplete.
Well, I mean, I would assume if you've already got the unit will be blanked out.
Yeah.
It says owned, and I'm not sure if you can.
Well, no, because I'm looking at mine and I have new hero token, new Orin. It says owned, but yeah, okay.
The difference is one costs one and the other costs 3. So the one
Well,
are
yeah,
the tokens.
That too, but it says you have already unlocked Ronin. So yeah, okay. I retract
But
my
of
former
course-
cautious statement.
Cautious statements are fine. Always err on the side of caution, or you'll end up like Lonnie, who bought 6 Nyx tokens instead of other tokens. And I'm using him as a prime example of not being too cautious on his notes.
Yes.
Even though he's buggered off for 20 minutes to go do whatever he's going to do, I'm not going to hear a word of that, so he's not going to yell at me. Or flatten my base.
He's currently spreading his butt cheeks, as Mike Honcho.
My Concho's back again.
Yes, sir.
So, gear store update for December. Of course, we know the gear store's been updated for December. With the Jericho Tech, it's been extended through December. So, again, there is another month to get the arc loader and get rapid fire. Don't complain if you miss them again, because I will laugh at you and then call you an idiot. Because that's twice this is the second time in 2 months that I said, get the tech while it's in the store if you missed out. Of course, in the gear store through December, we have tech for Nyx. We have the tungsten paneling, which is, reduces damage from ground air units and aircraft by 25%. We have the N-Class MK4. Reduces damage taken by 15% and increases movement speed and acceleration by 20%. And Nyx's Heroic Training, which grants immunity to corrosion, scramble, and fire status, and spawns 1 AA and 1 Wingman drone in battle. And of course, the last chance heroes for this month through to January is Nyx, Weaver, and Sunder. And we have Weaver's Tech, which is Puncture Round, Invasion Armor, and Weaver's Heroic Training. We have Nitrogen Rockets for the Cyclone, the Adaptive Body Armor for Special Forces, Uranium Payload, all the heavy vehicles, and I believe that's all the rare tech. High Caliber Ammo, Siege Rounds, Demo Rounds, the Arc Loader, and the Rapid Fire Tech. And highlights for this month, Phalanxes, Cyclops, and Expert Dina, with the tech additions for the Spartan ZK, all of the tech for the Spartan ZK, all of the tech for the Phalanx, all of the tech for the Cyclops as well, and Dina's Shredder Tech and Titanium Shielding. So that's another unit that I've seen people complain about that didn't pick it up during the nightmare. They didn't get Expert Dina, or they didn't get the Shredder, or they didn't get the Titanium Shield. Now
The
you
Shredder
have
Tech's special too. That stuff's really good.
another, and it's 100K.
Yeah, for crying out loud. It's like
100K.
back when we had to buy it, was 800K.
I'm definitely going to pick up the titanium shielding. The one tech I don't have, so it's pretty awesome. And, Expert Dina is a really, Expert Dina and Jericho are 2 of the best units, so definitely.
And the tech being removed for this month, route is Rapid Loader, Velocity Rounds, Impact Ordnance, the Spike Collar Dog Tags, the Fast Whistle, the Platts Whistle, Alpha Training and Impit Training, Bone Sword, Disruptor, and the War Dog. And that is the end of the gear store and the update notes for the rest of this month. This is the last. This is the gear store for December. Warpath is live, and the update notes are done and dusted. So, any questions, comments?
Bernie just does an amazing job with all the pictures and layout and how cool it looks. I mean, there's
I really like that picture.
but such an amazing.
I think Shadow Killer would be impressed, to say the least.
He would be. I really do believe he would be. And it'd be great.
No, SK would find something to rag on him about. That's just.
Oh yeah, he would.
Well, of course, but he would still give him.
I can find things to rag on him about.
Shitco. I mean, Slocko.
Always room for improvement.
Yeah,
there is always room for improvement, and so far he's been doing pretty well. Yeah. And I'm not going to burn him too hard about it.
So the only typographical error was the gold trophy is actually.
Okay, we have an update. Actually, I think it's either just gone live or it's gone in the Warpath notes that I haven't seen yet. But Skip just updated the Facebook page. Actually, it hasn't gone in the Warpath notes, so I'm going to have to go look to see if update for Warpath returns. Due to an issue with honor resetting after relocation, Warpath will be brought down and restarted on Thursday, November the 7th at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Wait.
I said start Warpath tomorrow. I fucking told him not to start.
I guess we have a Warpath till next year since it's November 7th.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So I just wasted 3 hours of my life just doing Warpath.
Next year.
I'm quite glad I didn't do anything, to be perfectly honest. I hit one guy.
I haven't hit anybody.
I hit a couple, but nothing flap my whistle about.
Yeah,
no, but,
so somebody might want to go poke Bernie just a little bit and make sure he changes November to December, because I really don't want to wait a fucking year for a level 4 Roland or some bullshit.
Well, this means that everyone who's gone through this has either taken damage and coined.
I don't think November the 7th was even on.
No. Understand this. If you've gone out smashing away, all gung-ho right off the bat, thinking that you were making great strides to do this early, you've probably wasted time, effort, energy, and units for not.
Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix.
Sorry, but we three smashed all evening already.
Yeah, but you do that every day.
That's true.
that's like
in this case is again for nothing.
Well, not for you. You don't. I retract again my statement. For you, you get the pleasure. So there's always something in smashing other players.
Okay. Well, I just hope they don't reset all their points, because that would suck.
That's what they said.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody's gonna be reset, and it's gonna be restarted. So all of your.
He didn't say reset. He just said restarted.
Oh, restarted. Okay. Well, then I hope that what you had, if you didn't lose,
stays.
And if what I will say is this: are they alluding to the fact that those that did jump and had it reset, I'll use that term specifically, reset to 0, they don't have acknowledgement or knowledge of what they had earned before they jumped. So therefore, if I was at 8,000 and I jumped and it went to 0. When they restart it, I will start at 0.
I do not know.
I don't think there's a way for them to fix it. So yeah, I mean, and to be fair, I'm getting screwed, but everybody was already screwed in the first place because they, I think a couple of people lost 2 to 3K, of the new honor that they were getting from this Warpath. So
I'll even say it from my perspective, because I wait for other players to fatten up before I start attacking, so that I'm attacking players in my own class or below me that have a larger honors, so I get a better payout right off the bat, and then I can progress up the ladder to higher and higher level players, where I continue to earn honors right up to the last day. It hurts me as well. It hurts me not as much as the player who lost all their honors that they'd earned today, but it hurts me because now they're reset at 0, so now I have to wait longer for them to go back and bank more before I can hit them again.
That's pretty much the scenario that I've got right now. I had to do pretty much exactly the same thing. Waited for players to fatten up and go out balls to the wall, grinding out the honor and whatever base they wanted to get, and then go and taking it off them. Double or triple of what I would gain from hitting them with none.
I don't know if it affects anybody, but it pushes the end date from Monday to Tuesday, most likely. The 5 days starting Thursday.
Acceptable. You're okay there, Dilo?
Doxing, are you all right?
Yeah, sorry. I actually was losing power on my laptop.
All right. I thought you were.
And I don't want to say it, but if they actually test this and make sure it works before they put it live, we wouldn't have these issues.
Ironically, if they had a trusted tester program, this wouldn't be an issue at all. Pixeye.
So I got a question for you. They're starting this up again tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
So,
Take two.
if you get bubbled anytime from now until tomorrow, is it a 4-hour bubble? Is it a 36-hour bubble?
That's a good point.
Is it a 12-hour bubble?
I'm assuming that they're dropping it out completely, so I would assume you might go back to your 36-hour 3. So.
No, I would sit and make people sit in 4-hour bubbles just to test the water.
One way, because trust me, if you didn't do the warpath yet, it's like as hell. Loading times are so huge in the base. So one way or the other.
What's up, fools?
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
I like that.
It's
Shadow,
guys.
I would refresh your hangout because you sound Regato, Mr. Roboto. You sound like a robot.
It's just a hangout.
Yeah, just reload.
Warpath is gone, guys.
Warpath is gone.
It's ended. It's done.
Well, it does mean the PvP air tunes and all the other cool stuff that's or whatever you think of it is still there. But
Fuck your PvP air.
Okay, so I asked a question about bubbles. How about this one? Is any base you hit going to be perma bubbled when it gets turned back on tomorrow?
How's that? Is any better?
Ooh,
That's much better.
Much better.
And I don't know.
Debo, the answer is probably it should not be permanent bubble, but we that's probably
It's
too much
Kickside.
to ask for.
It
What
is
do you guys
Kickside.
talk about anyway?
Warpath.
The fuck
Take
is a
two.
warpath?
All right, so it's a PvP.
I'm so glad you asked.
Event. It's something right up your alley that you had been asking for a long time, and it actually, the last one they did was awesome.
It was really successful.
Is that the guy that promised us for 2 events ago that he come back? Is that the guy?
It is. It is.
Oh.
It is the man himself.
You're a bit too late, bro.
I really do think that they started this warpath specifically to goat you into returning, and you ignored them, and that's why it's fucked up now.
I have no idea. I mean, I've been checking the pages. I've been reading the chats and all that, but I still have no interest in coming in the game. I see what you guys have been posting. I've been reading on the pages how many fucking problems you guys are going through, and
it's an up and down drama filled kind of thing. It's not that everybody's going through everything. It's that certain segments of people are going through one issue and another group of people are going through another issue, and it's a sum total of all the things going wrong simultaneously that everybody is suffering some problem.
Yeah, see that right there. Why should I come back? In all honesty, why should I come back if so many people are still having so many of the same problems?
I'm going to answer that as candidly as possible.
Politely. Please come back.
I will answer that as candidly and as honestly as possible. Don't.
I mean, I haven't. I've done a couple little upgrades, the long 5-day upgrades and all, but I really haven't done anything else. I mean, I have no idea what's going on. I mean, I log in just to see what the chat's got to say, and it's all the same thing. I mean, it's all, my infamy is 0 or something's fucked up. My lag is horrible. Then I just close the game out. I'm like, fuck that. I'm done.
Well, I've gone the way of the PS4 myself, so I'm not in game every single day like I used to be. I'm following.
I play League every day, 16, 20 hours a day. I mean, all day long. I mean, I'll be honest. War Commander they have ruined a perfectly good game. We had such a good time back in the day, and I have yet to see any reason to come back. Okay. I do have a question for you guys. How is the new community manager?
He's excellent.
He's excellent. Yeah, I'm giving him 4 out of 5 stars. 3.5 out of 5.
You should check out the. We're just talking about the patch notes, the update notes, and the pictures and the formats. And
I'll
check it out and see.
Actually, also our new platoon, because that's something Shadow Killer personally had wanted to see for a long time.
Yeah, I was asking.
Bernie does real well on dedication, information, pictures.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, that's awesome. See, that is badass. That is so awesome. If the game was running, I'd come back just for this sheer reason. I would come back for just sheer reason if the game wasn't so clustered right now.
I mean, he's even got, look at all that. That's release notes. That's actual release notes.
Plus, if you notice at the very bottom there, they're talking about hot fixes as well. We've been talking about that the last couple of weeks where they fix stuff but don't tell us about it. So now they're posting and stuff that they did over the last week.
Dude, that's awesome.
One
thing, an improvement though, in Battle Pirates, they list out when they make a change to the unit, they list out like 50,000 lines of changed every. It's like holy, more information about the unit.
Shit,
yeah, but consider what we had before him.
Oh yeah, no, it's massive.
Considering Solaka, what we had before, this is this is 1,000% better. And like I said, if the game wasn't running so shitty, that alone would have me coming back.
Well, I do think we haven't talked about it a lot, but I do think the new the leaderboard, even it's not working for some people, but the Warpath leaderboard is actually pretty snappy. It just you can spam through a bunch of things. It doesn't lag. It scrolls very fast. So there's that's what you kind of the quality that you expect is there. But unfortunately, it's been a rocky road to and it's still not anywhere near.
To my honest experience, I think it's game. Be honest, guys. The game runs better than 4 or 5 months ago.
Much.
Not by much, and not for all.
No,
there are people that
they're definitely moving in that direction. They're not. They're because if honestly, if they got to the performance where they wanted it, we would have had a post by Sobacop, touting all their performance. But they're still kind of.
Yeah, we're still waiting on a post by Sobocop that was supposed to come out in October that hasn't. We're still waiting on the next State of the Game post that was supposed to come out in October and hasn't. I didn't want to do this. When I think it was last on the show, and I've been avoiding this all goddamn day. I don't think it was last on this show. He said that putting a new Warpath out without fixing the leaderboard would make Kixeye look like a bunch of idiots.
And
there is no fix to the leaderboard. That is still broken, and we have a second Warpath.
Well, not right.
And I gotta call you out. I gotta call him out.
Who's RoboCop?
Sobocop's
who's RoboCop
and Golden Doodle.
Hey, I haven't been in game for a long minute now, guys.
Sobocop is the tech guy. He is the absolute
technical director or something.
He has some kind of funky title like that, yeah.
Oh, he's been chit-chatting on forums?
Yeah,
he's done it a grand total of what?
3 posts? The one post he did was very technical and had, very in-depth. Confused a lot of people, but he actually talked a lot about, the future of War Commander, just a massive amount of information that is just, amazing. But
very, very
unfortunately, it's like one post,
I know there is one thing I'd like to say, so, everybody can hear. For all those people out there who said that War Commander would be dead by now, fuck off.
War Commander should be dead by now. It should have
No,
been
it's
dead
never
about
gonna die.
3 years ago.
But there's that one person, your favorite person,
Yeah.
who kept running off at the mouth saying that this game would be dead by now.
And it's still going. 7
It's
fucking
still
years.
going. I mean, yeah, I don't play, but it's still up and running. And hey, I even said it would be shut down. I was wrong.
Usually games like this, the Flash in browser games, last about 3 or 4 years, and their lifespan isn't any more than that. But Kixeye have managed to capitalize on something that nobody else really has. I mean, if you look at anything that's in browser right now that you can just pick up and play with on Flash, they're all clicky bullshit games.
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush, Farmville.
I'm gonna say something different. The games, yes, Flash Player, desktop Defender style games.
I used to love
of our era. Well, yeah, but those games had short lifespans. What's continuing to run this game is not Kixeye. What's continuing to keep this game valid and living is not Flash Player. It is us. It is us players in the community. This game has a never-ending evolution that gives it life and longevity.
I mean, the game's been going on for so long, we're starting to see the recycle effect.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
Also, this to me is like, the SF was a whole nother generation, and now we're on to a whole new.
We've had Gen 1 faction units, now we're on to Gen 2 faction units. What's next?
The Siege Squadron is basically the redesign of the Condor.
Yeah,
if I'm getting that right.
Yeah, again, like you're saying, that's the rehashing of old units and old systems, rethinking certain aspects. But there's parts of it where that's where the game should have evolved and moved forward, but instead it's stagnated and is kind of just doing laterals. Instead of coming out with completely new derived ideas, they're rethinking and re-engineering existing ideas to do somewhat new tactics or abilities. But that isn't really what I'd like to see in the game. I'd like to see.
How would you incorporate some kind of new tactics in a Flash Player game like this, though? That's the question.
Well, theoretically, they have in the past. I mean, yes, Flash Player game, but think about it. When we first started the game, you didn't have stealth, and they've added that tactic. We didn't have of course, I don't feel that Kixeye has properly delved into their ideas of what, burst damage and
there's burst, there's area and sustain. They haven't delved into that properly.
They're not properly delineating damages for vehicles. You have vehicles that are on the same plane that do different damages, and I don't think they should have done that. They should have done heavy vehicles do a specific damage, lighter vehicles do a specific damage, and hold true to that across all factions. Or they should have done with this faction edition again, like you said.
I've never liked this faction thing, but
I didn't either. But I think that had merit if certain factions only did certain things.
Yeah. As for rehashing units, like I said, you guys know I play a different game. I play League, and they do the same thing. And this is League is almost $1 million plus, gaming platform that has ESPN shows for their challenges and shit like that. And even their units there's a lot of their units that or their champions, as they call them, are the exact same as other champions, just renamed different.
One thing that's crazy about League and those types of games is like Teemo, or I don't know what the first.
That's my boy.
They're still like badass, like top tier units that people love, and the money and the time you spent on that unit is still valid. Like you could buy.
Taking a Rogue 35 with Hellfires and ERMs is long gone.
I mean, as for Teemo, that is my main. That's who I play 90% of the time. So yeah, I get that completely and totally. But there's a lot of other units that are they're almost exactly alike. They do exact same mechanics. They just name different. So as for rehashing units and I think that it's not that it's hard to do. I think it's that it'd be more complicated for them and their system. Considering this is a 7-year game going on 8 years, I mean, how would they really be able to bring in a new unit with new tactics, completely and totally on such an old written code system?
I don't think they could.
I'm not sure if it's true, but they've been hyping the Siege Squadron as going to be a completely crazy, different unit that has, so that should hopefully that will actually hold true.
It is not completely different. It is basically a hybrid between having an Omega Phantom and our what the fuck is it? Drop the pods. Mercury. Yeah, mercenaries. I mean, that's theoretically what it is. What you're doing is
commercial about it is it's a Condor-like plane. Instead of bombs, it throws.
It drops troops.
It drops troops. Yeah. So they drop pods that explode and release troops, which is what the Merc pods were. Only instead of it being techs or mech warriors, it's going to be actual troops. And instead of the Condor dropping bombs or the Phantom dropping bombs, it's going to be a new version of the Condor dropping bombs, which is directly derived from the drop ships.
Yes, and there's a difference if you upgrade it. The plane itself don't need upgrade times. It comes in normal, Omega.
That's not really.
Temperatures you need to upgrade, but if it's Omega, 5 planes enter your base, dropping those guys.
Yes, yes. Five planes simultaneously dropping the
Ravager.
The Ravagers over their flight path.
There's a lot.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I want to get back into all that. I mean, that's all. Man, I still got dropships though.
That alone, honestly, is a reason to stay out for a little bit longer, so you can just come back one day and just.
Yeah, that's
when everybody else is going.
If you don't come back, if you don't try it, if you don't have the right people surround you, Shadow, then I strongly suggest don't try it. But if you have the right people and you have that.
Oh, I know. If I came back, I mean, I can get a lot of help. I can get all the units I need, and
I'm still 25 hexes away from your base, and I can smash you if you like.
There's nothing in it.
I even recruit midgets, for my clan MOD. So if you can come, you like it.
You got to create a new clan tag, MIG.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and log off here. I just want to say hi to everybody.
God bless you, Shadow. I hope you have a happy, healthy.
Thanks for coming on, buddy. It's always fun.
And if the game does smooth out, and like I said, I've been reading chat. I've been reading the page. I'm updating what's going on. On the pages, I have no idea what's going on in the forums. But if I see that, game starts picking up, I'll come back. Until then,
fuck him.
Shadow Killer has been retired. I'll talk to y'all later.
Take it easy.
Have a Merry Christmas, people.
Take it
Peace
easy.
out.
Later, bud.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise, wasn't it? I wasn't not expecting that at all. Yeah. That was the legendary Shadow Killer himself. So, fuck. I'm a little bit... Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that, a guy was talking about these shows, and he's like, "Man, you got to check out Shadow Killer. What he's doing, what he knows, just unbelievable."
Wow,
I think that was a catch-all for everybody on the panel. I know there's been a lot of people around here, Phil, and
he's the guy that started all this shit. The guy that came up with this way back last year. In fact, almost 18 months ago, I think now. Somewhere along those lines. Unshackled has been going for quite a while.
Keep up with what's your year-end review you wanted to do. That's a good intro.
It's a good segue for the year-end review. And the year-end review is pretty much as follows. A lot of shit has happened in the game in the last year. A lot of the bugs have not disappeared, but been dealt with. A lot of the problems with roaches and cheaters and assholes and all that kind of shit has all but vanished, for the most part at least, which is good on Kicksai's end. And other than the couple of months I took out of the game, because Kickstarter pissed me off that much. And the amount of rebalancing and the amount of changes with brand new air PvP platoon. The final splitting of the ground and air platoon is another one that was on my head for quite a long time. I can say Kickstarter have done rather well. For the most part.
You know,
and I would probably go ahead and give them a standard grade would probably be somewhere in the C area. It's not perfect, but it's not ridiculously stupid either. They could do better. But they could do worse at the same time. So there's that also. Anybody else got any comments on the year end?
Honestly, I just want to say.
Or go ahead.
I know. I was just saying that. Honestly, I think we have an issue where us as players, we tend to hang on to the negatives, and I mean, I could literally look back and say, yeah, I would get pissed off a lot playing this game. Certain things will happen, and it gets aggravating to us. But in the big spectrum, the actual reality of it, this game has come a long fucking way in the last year. I mean, if you actually take the time and look at everything that, you know, the changes, the improvements, you know, the cheating, man, they're really, I mean, they're trying. And if you actually humble yourself and look back at it, I mean, you can actually stand up and say, you know, good job, Kicks, because they're legitimately, you know, we've come such a long way from what this game used to be to what it is now. And like I said, I know it's so easy to dwell on the fucking negatives, and you know, I personally do it. I get pissed off when I'm playing, or you know, even right now we got the Warpath that started today. It came out, it's fucked up. People are going to be losing, you know, honor that they rightfully earned, and you know that's a negative. But I mean, you know, the idea of the Warpath by itself. You know, the first one came out, we did it in the 2 tiers, we finished it. Everybody had a blast. It was a fucking awesome experience. And you know, we kind of silence the great by, you know, the new fuck ups or the new complaints. And you know, that's something that we all actually have to take a step back and look at and say, you know, this game has come a long fucking way, and you know, they are on the right track. Are they perfect? No, nobody is. Nobody ever will be. But the improvements that keep coming out, man, they're really, really good.
Yeah, I can wholeheartedly agree with that.
And to stack on what Debo already said, when like a month ago, Dr. Phil said that this is one of the best times to play War Commander, and I still think it's true. I think all the improvements, especially with a lot of the cool new units coming out, sure, they're rehashings, but they work better, they're stronger, they're more fun to play with. I think that even though, you know, Kick Size had a lot of trouble, so have we all, I think it's a great game to play.
Well, we all still loving the game, otherwise we wouldn't play it. So
I think some of us hate it more than that. But
no. I think they're doing a great job. The only thing that I would see change is slowing a bit down with the content. Instead of bringing out each month a new unit, slow it a little bit down so people can catch up.
It'll never happen, but yes.
But in my eyes, they are doing a good job. They're working hard, and I still enjoy playing it. So
there's always that. I mean, if the game is enjoyable, people will play it regardless of the issues, because it's just one of those things. People like playing. I mean, we all play in, day out. Some more than others, some less, but we still play because we play. We play to play the game rather than just piss and moan every goddamn day. I mean, there are always some complaints. There are always going to be some complaints. Nothing is ever going to be 100% kick-ass or all of that stuff, because it's not. It can't be. It never has been. It never will be. I mean, I did. I mean, yeah, I'll go ahead and straight out on the limb. When I said that, when I did come back to the game and I was playing for a few months, again, when I came back and I'd had all that time to do my own catching up and get on my kind of play style again, it was great. It was great to come back to. There was plenty of stuff, and it wasn't too hard for me to get some of the stuff that I needed to get. But with all of the things that Kickstarter are putting on top of this at the moment, they're taking advantage of one too many things. And the one too many things that are on my list that are quite recent are the events and the stuff that they've been doing with certain bases that they've brought out recently, to the tune of support turrets and the faction tracks. Now, granted, some of the faction tracks have been more difficult than others during those particular events because of either levels of units or capabilities of certain things and players and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, some things cannot be overlooked, such as certain issues within the last event, for instance, where they moved that reset token from one space to the other. So for some players, it was easy to get to. For other players, it wasn't.
Well, moved it and reduced the number. So it was a
and that's another thing. It's always been 4, ever since they started the reset thing, to try and help players get more XP once they got stuck. Because in the old days, when you got stuck somewhere, you were done. That was it. There was no further progression for you, unless you were going to do lower level tiers, which in this event style, you can't do. Which is something that bugs me for various different reasons, but it can be overlooked for the time being. Because those kinds of days of doing A wave after A wave after A wave after A wave, or the Bs if you were lower down, or the Cs if you couldn't do any of the other stuff. Those days of the events are gone, and to be quite frank, they can stay by the wayside. The last set of events with the track, specifically, I mean, the Nightmare Resurrection event, I enjoyed. Wholeheartedly, I enjoyed. The main track, the faction track, and having the zombie track. Because it didn't feel like so much of a bitch-ass motherfucking grind compared to this one. The last event, I had less XP than I have ever had. Because I had no heart to play it. I mean, usually you can gauge the event within the first 24 hours of playing. And you either want to play it or you don't. And it was a case of a lot of the players during that event didn't. Some did through collection and getting as many as the new units as they could get. Then finding out just how much they cost to build in the thorium department and having a bloody heart attack. And then going out and using those units in the new base, in the 150, left a lot to be desired. They could get balanced in the future, but I doubt it. I mean, 3 or 4 months down the line, well, we did this, and we need to do this, and we need to do this. Fine, dandy. Those units are now obsolete. Like a lot of the Gen 1 units are starting to be that way. Because of the things that Kickstarter keep doing to them.
I think what I'm about to say is that I think that everybody's gonna agree on the panel, and I hope the YouTube viewers too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I have a serious question. Why is Kickstarter scared to check their status on players who play a lot of hours, who have advanced bases, who have experience, who have a 5-year experience at least in the game? Why they are afraid to look in their own systems, pick a couple of people, talk to them? You know, we on this panel, for example, we're not people like, okay, we want to help you. How much does it give us? No, we want a future for the game. We love talking about the game. We make a show every week. We try to support the lower level players. We know what's going on. Even if I'm a higher level player, I know what's going on. I know what the suffering is about. Why don't you pick a handful of people and communicate with them? It's same. It's what Phil earlier said, and same what I said last week. You know, trusted testers. You can call it however you like. But if you do like a round table and you pick a couple of people that plays the game so much hours, I think that's the answer to your problems. Why scared of doing that? It don't cost you anything. Maybe 30 minutes of your time every week, and it can help you so much, and all the players with it.
I mean, I've gone out on a limb a lot of the times doing the shows and the long posts in the forum, explanations, and a lot of other things besides. And I've put myself out there more than enough times. Sometimes the feedback is appreciated by members of the forum and Kickstarter in general, and some of the things have been taken on board. I mean, I'm going to toot my own horn a little with the Blood Thorium thing. When they asked for Warpath feedback, it was one of those times that I gave feedback in general and asked, well, if players don't have heroes, because at the time I didn't have any of them, why not put heroes in the store for Blood Thorium? And now they're there. And I think it's a great idea. I mean, the price might be a little high. 3 is quite a bit to ask for. Because if you don't have those heroes, you've got to be up at that one tier to at least get 3 out of it. And if you want to make them actually worthwhile, thanks to the token bullshit, you've got to be able to get either into the diamond and get the 6, or get 5 or 4. Because having them at level 1 is great, don't get me wrong. The units are great anyway. Most of them. But having them at level 1 kind of blows. You might run into a guy that has the level 2 or the level 4. Or after this warpath, having the level 5.
It's always been a pricing problem that people who can afford it don't need it, and the people who need it can't afford it.
Yeah.
What I see, and that's maybe me, and we can all bitch and complain about everything. It's in our nature to never be satisfied. For the time and effort we put in stuff, and we never satisfied. But I see clearly a change that they actually do something with it. Yeah, they implemented it. Okay, we're not happy about the three Blood Thor for the hero units. But bro, this is my opinion. They give away those hero units like candy with a cell phone thingy. I don't know. They give it away. If you look to the lower level players, how they get nice packages for.
Okay, so it's just a quick one. I have to segue into this real quick. Due to the issues with Warpath, we'll be granting out the following compensations. All gold spent on repairs while Warpath was active will be refunded. For players who engaged in PvP during the event, we will recall and repair all platoons for players who engaged in PvP while Warpath was active. The compensation will be completed by 10 a.m. Thursday, December the 7th.
I will say that's actually admirable.
That's cool.
That is extremely cool. Because I can get all the gold back I spent coining my hair because I fucked up in that guy's face.
Kickstarter, timestamp it, and make sure Dr. Phil's the only one who doesn't get compensated.
Fuck you. I went live, so you, my friend, can suck a dick.
We don't have to request Quickside to do that. The random nature of payouts and compensation always means some people get screwed.
Yeah,
I know exactly how much gold I spent, Kickside. And I want every single one of them back. Because if I don't get it, you know what's going to come next.
You're going to get a nice happy, here's 50 gold.
Yeah, they'll forward it to me, and then you'll be upset.
Oh yeah,
Hey, guys.
I know what happened to you, you son of a bitch.
Hey guys, I haven't been PvPing today, but how's the repair time on the PvP air?
It's
Does it work?
50%
It's
off of whatever your unit is. So
the time.
My story, man. I was talking.
Pascal was talking.
Okay.
I do apologize. I had to jump in and give him that piece of information real quick. Continue, Pascal.
No worries.
Oh, I don't know where I was ended. Hello, David.
Doc, you get nothing. That's your favorite freaking word. The check is in the mail.
No, that's mine, and that'll be $50.
that'll be $350.
No, it'll be $350.
Yeah, $300. Come on, cop car.
Yeah, fucking asshole.
Oh,
Okay, now I've completely lost my place. I was gonna try and segue into something, and I've forgotten where I was.
Ladies and gentlemen, now you've just witnessed a true Unshackled episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty.
Pascal was talking about changes and how we've seen changes, and but one part of that aspect is part of the problem for them is it takes months like to make these changes. So it's kind of, especially like the air PvP too. Slipjack was saying she was asking for it for months, and it just seems like in the last couple months they finally said, maybe we'll think about it. The answer always has been no. Then they'll think about it. So it took a long time for that requested feature to come out. So it's not that they're not listening, but it just takes a very, very they have a very full schedule. It seems like, and they have a lot of plans, and if they want to make a change, depending on they have to fit it into the schedule, and it could take months or years before that change actually occurs.
Yeah, it's definitely
a new plan in their agenda, because they have an agenda. If we come with a crucial, constructive idea for the game, they try to fit in a hole to implement that idea. And the change, for example, is what I was saying. I mean, the text for the boss bases that we get rewarded, and some people don't, and it's I think they're actually doing a great job, because they jump onto the problem, and it's not like an individual answer. No, they reward you with stuff, because I think the package that I received, two of each tech for the Dracon, it's a fucking amazing thing. I think I was really, thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, and I was actually surprised that went out. And when it did, I got into the game like literally 90 seconds before the maintenance.
Yeah.
And I picked it up, and I was like, hang on a minute. Okay, I did a bunch of those bases during the weekend. Excellent, I'll take it.
And this is what does one mean? They actually take action. Last year you can shove it up. Even you have to, if you send a ticket to support, they probably don't even know what you're talking about. They give you if you reply the ticket, you get 50 coins. If you don't reply the ticket, you get a big FU. You know what I mean?
Well, we could safely say the custom support hasn't changed in the last couple of years at all. In fact, they actually are still giving out tech from a couple of years ago that should have been considered valuable, but now it's kind of they have not quite caught up on that change to the game.
We experienced this tonight because Scooby actually received technical techs at the first place, but he sent the ticket back. And then somebody else took it over, and he actually gave great contacts and a compensation for the boost that he was running.
Now, there is actually some competent customer support. We've seen a few people like, I'm not sure if Lonnie wants to be called out, but him getting his tokens fixed, and that's awesome and that's cool. But the vast majority seems pretty bad.
It's really amazing.
One guy in CS I can count on is Lando.
Yeah, but there's so huge difference.
Fucking
No
right.
black and white, man. Sometimes you get a ticket back, and you think, where the fuck did they find this guy?
Where the fuck did they find this guy? Did he even read my ticket in the first place?
Exactly, and then you give a constructive rant back, because what the fuck you talking about? and then somebody else took over, and you get a decent answer and a solution.
Yeah. And the solution, which is either this happens or this or this. This is a problem, and here's 50 gold. Now bugger off.
Yeah.
Or they will continue to say, well, there's nothing we can do this time. Now just accept it, kiss my ass, and get out of here.
My shotgun already starts shooting by itself when they start talking about clean your cash. You know.
You know, I this is the funny thing. I started a ticket the other day after my my tune didn't repair. After I logged off, you know, I did the whole. It's a fucking ritual every time you hit it, repair a tune, and you want to log off. You collect your rares, you go in and out your base, you wait for the save icon to disappear, you collect your rares, and then you log off. And I started the ticket with the simple before you attempt to give me this whole clear your cache, collect rares bullshit. I already did that before I even started the ticket and started the repairs. This is some bullshit, and after 6.5 years of the game being as it is, I'm surprised you haven't fixed it by now. Battle Pirates managed to do it, and Vega Conflict managed to do it, but if you're so inane at managing to get shit fixed, just find a new job. And all I got was, we've repaired the platoon for you and given you 30 gold. Have a nice day. Did you even read anything I sent? Obviously not, because I think I called you an idiot about 5 times.
Because if they had...
Apparently Google Translation didn't translate idiot correctly.
Apparently not. Do I have to change it into American rather than English?
Pakistan.
The Queen's English, you mean?
We're not talking about aluminum.
Oh, that was, I did that live as well. I'm in so much fucking trouble.
If you want to talk about aluminum, I could do it all day. There's aluminum siding.
Aluminium.
Fencing.
It's aluminium, damn it.
I thought we were talking English.
Right, and it's not platinum. It's platinum.
It's aluminium.
Aluminium and platinum.
Reminds me of trying to get Phil to say the alphabet just to see if he says a letter wrong.
A.
He's gonna say Z.
I was thinking,
Z.
you could just start at W if you want.
Hold on.
Wait, no, I jumped forward a little there. Shut the fuck up and go fuck yourself.
Welcome, Jack. Welcome.
Good evening, my love. The lady is in the house.
We got lady.
Continue, gentlemen. I'm actually still working.
Oh, we have two. We have 2 ladies in the house.
Ooh.
Damn.
What, me and David? Oh, shit. I love you, David.
Oh, my God.
Grass and it's all good.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with her.
Mary.
Oh, my God.
It freaking hurt.
Oh, my God.
Merry fucking Christmas to me. Lady, you burned David.
Oh, my gosh.
Ouch. Boy.
And hello, Queen, because you had your picture hadn't popped up on my screen yet, so that's why I decided I would burn David. I'm so sorry, David. I really do love you. You know that.
Utterly brutal and awesome at the same time.
I'm so tired. I am so sorry. I mean, I think I'm at 40 hours and it's only Wednesday and I still have 4 more days to work.
Oh, bless his heart. I just would like to personally, I know it's not shout out time, apologize publicly while we're live to David for not being able to accept his Facebook call today. Obviously, by the state of things, you can understand why I was not able to answer the phone because I was busy testing shit that was broken.
Yes, ma'am. And I hardly understand.
Oh, dear me.
I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, you know, when stuff happens and then you're explaining what's happening and then you're sending a ticket yourself and then you're explaining it again and then you get this answer back and you're like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to do it. And, you know, you all can hate me later. I'm on my 4th glass of wine, okay? Plus, I cooked with wine with dinner, and my burgers were rare and covered with cheese and mushrooms and was fucking awesome. Plus, a half a stick of butter, all right? So I'm feeling pretty good right now, okay? So the answers, some of the answers I got from CS today were, do you want a hot dog with your Slurpee? I mean, I'm just a totally Do you even
want a
speak
hot
English?
Do you want a hot dog with your Slurpee?
Do you want a hot dog with your Slurpee? Not trying to be offensive to anyone. But do you even speak English?
Party like it's on sale for.
Come on, that's from The Simpsons. That's from The Simpsons. I mean, I'm just
It is.
saying. It's just it's what's his name? Apu or Abu or whatever his name is.
Yeah, the guy that is currently like one of the most hated stereotypes on The Simpsons.
Yes, and honestly, I don't mean that to offend anybody. I'm saying just the kind of answers from customer service, something's got to change. And yes, I'm speaking as a player, not a moderator right now, but something's definitely got to change. If we're going to have like this kick-ass team and this kick-ass dev team, and by the way, Ron Thinker does want to come on the show again. So we're going to have this kick-ass game team and kick-ass engineers and all these new production managers and everything. And, you know, and to me, watching all of this unfold over the years, literally having Bernie dropped into my lap like, you know, chocolate ice cream and chocolate icing with nuts and whipped cream that I just want to lick him to death. Okay, that was the icing on my cake. And then somewhere the wheels fell off the bus with customer support. And I just want to, once in a while, really, honestly, just fly out to the West Coast to bitch slap some people. And you know what? And if Kix Eye's listening and you want to slap my hands for saying that later, because you know what I'm saying is true. It's gotten so bad that we're supposed to be warning or banning people or trashing posts when people post customer service responses. Well, you know that it's a bad issue when you spend 3/4 of your time that you're spending in forums moving or trashing or merging or editing posts that are related to the most unintelligible, inane, non-English speaking, did you even read my ticket? Yes, that's what I caught as the tail end of the conversation, kind of a ticket. I mean, I just, in the history of the 7+ years with this company, I have never seen this much incompetence from this company when it comes to customer support. To be honest with you, yeah, I'll put my mod hat on for a second. Do I have an explanation for you? I have zero explanation. Nothing. There is nothing that I can say to any of you other than to apologize to you for the level of lack of answers and support that you should be getting for customer support. Because this is not the Kickside team that's putting the game together. So
I gotta go straight and quote the Negus for this one. Stupidity is no excuse.
No, and I get that, and we get people in the forums all the time that say, "Oh, well, the crux of customer service, and I'm a paying customer." No. Stop. Just don't do that. And I'm not trying to be ignorant to the people who come in the forums who say that. Don't do that because that doesn't work. And you can ask Phil and anybody else on this panel that has ever played a Kickside game. Okay, that doesn't work with Kickside. Don't talk about them. Talk about commerce and talk about, you know, public and my rights to free speech and I'm a customer and this is customer support and blah 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 blah. Don't throw that in their face. But you have to be intelligent. And when you don't get a proper response, keep going. Don't stop.
Allow me to give you where the buck starts and where the buck ends with this kind of thing. You have freedom of speech in the free world, yes, as they say that it is. Kickside is a privately owned company. That forum is a privately owned forum. It's owned by Kickside, and Kickside can set their rules however they see fit. Your freedom of speech at this point has gone. You have no freedom of speech. You can say whatever the fuck you like, by all means. But if Kickside choose to remove it, censor it, or remove you from the system because of that, whatever you've said doesn't agree with either their policy or anything else, it's gone. And as for the commercial aspect of it, I'm a paying customer. If I had $1 for every time I heard that line through somebody who was pissed off because they didn't get what they wanted for whatever reason, whether it be a bug, a glitch, or just because they're bitching because somebody flattened their base and their base sucked and they thought it was the best base ever. I'm a paying customer. This shouldn't have happened and this shouldn't have happened. Well, no, that's wrong. Just because you put money into the game doesn't mean you should get any better treatment than anybody else. Anybody who starts to play the game is subject to the same terms of service. Your money, however much you have put in, is worth dick. It isn't worth 1 cent in the real world for every coin you spend.
I want to say something about that, bro.
Go for it.
But if you buy a unit and they say, health is this, his damage is this, and this is the rest of the stats, and people open their wallets to buy that unit, and after 1 week, they nerf the unit. It's the same like buying Nikes with no
Pascal,
soles on it.
I don't mean to cut you short, but I just want to put a squash to this. And
I got it.
You know, Skipjack and Dr. Phil can certainly, you know, retaliate and say I'm wrong here. But if you read the terms of service, that
you own nothing.
3 words.
They have the right.
I
to
both love and hate. Subject to change.
That and in the TOS that was instituted, there is acknowledgement that there will be glitches, bugs, errors in code, issues, and circumstance within any game that Kixeye puts out, because it is across the globe and has to go through servers, yada 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 yada. And I won't get into the whole legalese, but they have in a very logical way exhumed themselves from responsibility and liabilities to issues with any adjustments in the game operations of units that you get. And the big specific to this, and I know you might not understand it because it equates to American legal systems as opposed to European or Dutch or what have you. But the fact of the matter is, the values that Kixeye set are an artificial coefficient, or an artificial value. And they have the right to adjust these values at any time for any reason, without explanation, without warning, without anything. Now, I'm sorry to say this, and I've been a proponent against this a million times, but this is the facts. They can nerf or buff any unit at any time in this game for any reason they so see fit. And that includes how they shaft us in events when they buff their units versus ours, or they nerf our units before an event starts, or they nerf our units versus their units for whatever reason they find.
I totally agree on that, but you know, if they,
I understand.
It's not our fault.
I've got to jump to the
But I just want to say, the value that you purchase it with your currency has no relation to any legal obligation that Kixeye would hold as a liability to not changing your unit. The fact is, every unit in the game is offered for free. Your choice to upgrade, buff, or purchase through package or whatever, any content that Kixeye releases is your own purposeful choice.
The most ironic thing about this, I can argue Pascal on the opposite side, but I also agree with him at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I gotta go back a few years, but I mean I gotta go back like 4 when I was a hardcore battle pirate. And I was a hardcore battle pirate. I had everything. From the start of the game all the way through to the current point. It was right as they released the Drac bases for the first time. And you had that group of players with the then coined Proto-Nemesis. The rarest drop ever. It was almost infinitesimal to the percentage drop rate of one of those. I had one.
It was like equal to the Diamond Legion. So if you saw someone with it, 9 times out of 10, actually 9.999 times out of 10, you would be reported as a cheater if you had one.
I was several hundred times.
Me
because
too.
it came out. Yep. And I did nothing but hit Drac bases for day after day after day after day after. I had them timed, for God's sake, to when one bubble would drop and I'd go out and hit it and do the whole fucking run again. And I had it within 3 or 4 weeks of the thing coming out. And the thing was to do blank 40 days. To put shit on it, you're looking at close to 60. And if the math is a little bit, I'm probably a little bit off with the math, so I'll have to round the coin up a little to get it similar to War Commander terms. But a day in Battle Pirates is worth 50 gold. And I coined that thing outright.
Yes.
And I spent $300 on a hull. That 2 weeks later, they removed one of its core abilities. Which was retargeting.
Yep.
So it wouldn't go from building to building anymore with the single volley. And I flipped.
Which is why it was so kick-ass.
I flipped my lid. I went fucking insane on the forums. I went to customer support. I want my fucking money back. Fuck you guys. And fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck you. How dare you do this to me? I just spent $300 goddamn on this piece of shit, and now you've made it basically useless. And the thing had a 2-day repair. 2 full days.
Yep.
It's not the first time this is gonna happen, and it's about the frustration of the people. It's not about that they nerf or buff some units. It's about the so many years that we play the game that this happened so many times. And
see, that's what Kickside back.
It's so easy to find a solution for this. Test it, give some guys your trust, bring them somewhere, do something. Just trust somebody to test the stuff before you release it. And don't do it with level 5 players. Don't do it with level 5 players. Do it with people who have experience in the game. A more honest answer you won't get. You will take away frustrations within the whole of the community. It's not about the money. It's not about the nerfing process. It's about how it goes.
Well, see, that's the thing. What you're exposing is absolutely true, and it's what keeps me logging in day to day. I won't quit the game, and that's what Kickside banks on. We are invested. In poker, there's a term called pot invested, where you've actually, that you don't have the best hand. You're hoping that your hand can at least beat somebody on the table, but you're not going to get your money back. But you're so invested in putting in so many of your chips up front over the course of the game or the round that you're considered pot committed. So you're going to hold out regardless.
You were hoping that card came out on the river, and
knowing full well that the percentages are so inconceivably low that you're not going to.
Right, and everybody else has a shit hand too, and you might actually get lucky.
You never get lucky in poker. It's
you might have a high card.
It's a mathematical equation.
Maybe if you're lucky.
Okay. Anyway, there's such thing as luck in gambling, but
there is.
There's the belief of luck.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
There you go. Thank you. Anyway, but the thing is, what I'm getting to in the game is, Kicksite is invested in us having a chemically driven addiction to the game, being that we're so committed over such a long period of time. For people like yourself, Pascal, myself, Shadow Killer, for whatever reason, quit cold turkey, so good for him. But we've been in this game, we've seen it grow with us, and we've seen things that we've wanted and asked for be created. We've seen things that evolve to be better, and absolutely 100%. Champ is right, and Doxing's right, and you're right. The game has gotten better over time,
but it's also gotten worse.
And it's gotten worse, and we hold them accountable for far more of the insignificant and significant problems than we give them credit for the monumentous advantages and overwhelming good things.
Name one monumentous advantage.
Well, do the shields on the Vanquishers work yet?
No.
Okay, so that's still. No, but I mean, we've gotten rid of a lot of the roach cheatings that were bad, like the spamming of the. Well, this might end up being a turnaround and it come back again, but the spamming of the condors and the units like that, and turning ERMs into things. So they've worked on that and hashed out a lot of it. Now they're not going to get rid of 100% of it, but partially cheats, partially game, game mechanics that are now working slightly more smoothly. So there are things that have actually become better. That said, back on my original statement, we're so committed and we have our hearts and our souls in the game that we get upset when we seemingly are taken advantage of in purchasing an item and having them change it on us or remove it from the game or what have you. But again, this is not real, tangible property. This is intellectual property. It's fantasy, and they have the rights to do with it what they want. As much as we like to say, you know, for example, what Dr. Phil's saying, asking for these units to be included for the blood thorium purchase for these hero units. He can't turn around and say that it's his idea. It's not. He doesn't own this. Kixeye owns it. It's their units. It's their decision. It's their everything. So even if you came up with an artwork and sent it to Kix and they use it, you have no legal, you know, a claim to it. And the reason why I see them not going with another trusted tester system is the liability issues. Even if they could somehow find a few people that wouldn't exploit the information and try to do it for their own personal bravado and gain, like what happened with the original 2 series where people would leak everything to try to come out better than they are. Kixeye, and NDS isn't included, they still have a great liability with releasing content or bits and piece content, you know, to anybody for any reason. So I just don't see it happening.
It's that singular, like, not wanting any information to be released unless they release it seems to be the crux at the problem they're having.
That's the key to all.
But it seems like such a bizarre fear that, like, oh my God, you know, in 6 months we're going to have Gen 3 units or some, you know, I'm not saying that's true, but somehow that information becomes so important to them that they will do anything to protect it, including not sharing it. You know, and that seems a little too far-fetched.
To that, they had a similar TT. I call it TT because trusted testers, covert ops, special operations. What do they call it now? Oh, bugger! I can't remember the goddamn name of the thing. They call it something. And
it's similar to how the entire release schedule for an entire year was released, and it's like, what was the outcome of that damage? It you know, it seems bad, but the outcome wasn't as bad as they made it out to be. You know, so it's just
because at the moment people do what people do best. There's always one idiot somewhere that will do what's known as data mine. They do it in Vega. They've done it in Battle Pirates for years with certain places. And they probably do it in War Commander as well, but I've not seen it proliferated as much.
But if it's considered in World of Warcraft, it's data mining is actually making World of Warcraft, I think, one of the biggest games out there because people data mine all this information and, you know, and they're so excited about it. And it's like, you know, in this term,
Blizzard, even though they data mine, Blizzard don't like it.
Yeah, Blizzard does not.
But they realize they can't do anything about it because it's like as soon as you release the code, I mean, they are putting some encryptions and they are trying to, you know, keep some secrets, but
yeah, as soon as it happens,
they're also using it to their advantage as like a, you know, a marketing tool too. So it's like it's not as bad as people make it out to be. And I honestly think MMO Champion has really done World of Warcraft a massive service to, you know, put the information out there for people, you know, and you know, and I don't think it would ever come to that level of craziness for War Commander. So I'm just saying it's the fear, it's just the craziness of not even wanting to take that risk it seems to be the crux of why they don't want to do it, which seems kind of bizarre, you know, and partly is because, you know, that lack of communication, like we don't know what's coming out in 3 months because they, you know, like we don't even know what's, you know, Warpath, we didn't even know what's coming out, and, you know, there was no information about it whatsoever because it was just like such a fear of releasing that information that it doesn't get out there.
Yeah, Kixeye have dealt with data miners before in quite a spectacularly funny way. They actually shoved out a whole bunch of false information into a release just to watch people go nuts about it. And then in the following release, they changed the whole fucking thing. and watched people cry. And
Well,
at the time, I gotta go back. I think Swag was still the CM back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was still the Battle Pirate CM back then. Because it was before the time of anyone else. And he turned around and said, well, it serves you bloody right. You shouldn't be going to other sites to get information that doesn't come officially from a Kixeye source. And that's why I always say, unless it comes direct from Kixeye, that was it. I don't want to hear it. Unless it comes directly from Kixeye, and you can provide me with a link screenshot to the forum and the forum post and the thread to where a member of Kixeye has said that this is 100%, then I don't believe you. It's as simple as that. It comes with being one of those. I'm as paranoid as buggery anyway, because I've always been that way. I don't trust anybody or anything I don't know well enough. If I don't know it and I don't know you, I don't want to talk to you.
Do not live your life on presumption or assumption. Live it on facts.
Exactly.
Tangible evidence.
If there's no tangible evidence to back you up, then you're done. And I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear it. And it goes with some players as well that I have gone round and round who have said, oh, this is a thing, and this is a thing, and this is a thing. It's like, hang on a minute. You're talking out your ass, mate. You have no idea what's going on. Oh, you do it this way, this way, this way, and this way. If I did it that way, I'd be repairing my shit for the next week. If I did it my way, I'd be repairing for an hour. You see the difference there? When you take it out of the horse's mouth, rather than get it from the guy who's trying to sell you the horse's mouth, you're probably going to have a better time. No, there isn't going to be a fucking Omega Legion. Wrong Thinker was on the goddamn on Unshackled show and said there wasn't going to be an Omega Legion. God fucking damn it.
We don't need an Omega Legion. It's going to go the wayside anyway. The unit will become redundant. As it stands, it's because of the way that new units' health and damage are. The only benefit it holds is the drones, and even those are negated quite rapidly.
It just frankly doesn't fit in with the faction, and that's their primary focus right now. So if there was some way for it to fit into the faction, then it'd be more viable. But because it's not a faction, it just doesn't.
I think faction is going to be here until the game dies.
I don't think so. I would hope so, but I don't know. I really don't know. At this point, they tried with the special forces. That failed because of the way that they tried to institute the upgrade system and how canted to one direction of you'll never fucking upgrade your shit this way. Case in point being, our anti-air super tanks. But I don't know if faction units will last all that long, or they won't come out with some other system of units or classic unit, depending on how long the longevity of the game is. Because
anything is possible.
Yeah, I just.
There was a mention of Gen 3 units. I know it's very long way off, but so I mean, it's that just fits in with the same faction and same.
Stop mentioning Gen 3. We're not even halfway through Gen 2 yet.
I'm not the one who mentioned it.
Oh dear.
You talk about when it comes from the horse's mouth, and then it's like you have to take that with the that's what they're saying. So I mean, it's we're not when you're talking about speculation, and I mean, there's a difference between speculation and hey, it would be really I would love to see the spider tanks come back. That's just personally things I would love to see. Not that it's just it seems cool, but it's just. It's not a speculation. It's just like a request, it'd be really cool if the game did this or had that.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool for certain things to be there that we don't have already. To be perfectly honest, I'd like them to get the fucking air thing fixed first.
I would like them.
Great.
Yeah, I would like them to just focus on fixing one thing and then fix the next thing and then fix the next
Well,
thing.
it's it's one of those things like, that's the number one request. I honestly think that people want them to fix the game, but it's not going to be coming. I'm not trying to speak for Kickside, but it's not going to be coming at the stopping events. It's not possible.
Yeah, they're not going to stop events. They're not going to stop content release. They're not going to stop.
But we can totally agree that performance and fixing issues and bugs and like Warpath. I'm really sad they took it down, but such a catastrophic failure like that, I'm kind of glad that they did, because it's like they had to fix that. It's dumb, but they had to.
Well, if we're playing the
tip for everyone: after every update, something new comes out. Wait before you start.
Yep.
I don't do my events on day one.
That's why I said, other than hitting the one guy, I wanted to go smash for obvious reasons, because he pissed me off. But I smashed him anyway. But other than this one guy, I didn't plan on doing Warpath for at least another day or two.
Well, for time-limited events, I mean, that's always, you don't really push the event as hard as you can, but, you only have 5-6 days to do it. So it's like you have to, at least get started. I like to have at least 12 hours repair for my event, before I go to bed. So it's like I'm not starting it, but it's like, because I only have so much time to play. But same with Warpath. I only have 5 days, and I got to get 10K. So it's either I get 2K, for a day, or 3K for the last 4, or 12K for the last day.
Oh, you get your 10K, you go out for the day and get hit by Fear the Peel.
That would just be horrible. And if you ever did that, you would never let him live it down.
Oh, no, I won't let him live it down. Ever. And that motherfucker knows why.
At least he had good taste in music when he did it.
No,
it would be even worse if you put a video out of it, as proof that you did it.
Well, you say that.
You gotta get him the last 10 minutes, Dot. Just jump to the second.
Sorry, Phil. We were just talking about teasing people and taking it too far. I definitely.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of teasing and taking it too far, I think.
If you all fill up, we will come and visit you after a couple of days or something.
Exactly. Go wait till the Warpath restarts. Get all your Warpath points ready, and by the time Saturday, Sunday comes around, I'll come say hi.
Just PM. I will be glad to visiting you.
So when does it end? Because with me working the way I've been working, I'm paid my
It start on Thursday. It will probably end Tuesday.
Tuesday? Okay.
I think Tuesday.
Okay, so then I just need to wait till the last 5 or 6 hours and play then, and then I can just rack in the points and go about my little business. Okay.
Go Flat David.
I got a plan. Shit, I'll be working freaking 12 hours next Tuesday, so it won't matter anyway. I won't have no damn time to play. I got 3 more weeks of this shit.
I just got to kill my time until the 22nd of December, and then I am done. I can relax.
Well, the most annoying thing about this is at the moment I had scheduled the last Unshackled show of the year for December the 20th. Ironically, the event starts the day after.
Well, oh well.
So
it is what it is.
That's going to be a thing, but we'll get to that part when we get to the date. So, and I think that's pretty much everything. Anyone got anything else to say?
No, we covered the notes. We had our little bitchy rants. We had our happy happies and our sad sads. I think that's been balanced.
We even had a surprise guest.
Yes.
Yeah, we
did. Surprise guest, and I gave Phil an early Christmas present when I said what I said earlier. And
was this really?
So I think before we do the whole wrap up and throw shout outs out there, I wanna get what's the word I'm trying to think of? We'll get an appropriation from the panel of a score of 1 to 10 of how you think Kixeye have done in the last year. And because for shits and giggles, I want to throw David off his game, we'll start with Venom.
I'm gonna be completely transparent and honest in all the things recently that I cry about and complain about, and I do complain a lot recently. But in overall, since the beginning of the year till now, almost the end of this year, I'm going to give them a good 9. They have focused on a lot of things and achieved more than they get credit for. But when they do fall off, they fall off pretty catastrophically. I mean, I go back a few months ago when they had that multiple downtime where the game was down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You can't do that. They've had their server issues, and the game's been seeing a lot of issues here and there. But a solid 8 or 9, I think is let's call it 8.5. Is a good honest number for me.
Is that a 9 or an 8.5?
8.5, because I'm balancing the 8, 9, so I'm going to say 8.5. 8.5.
8.5 is a solid number. Slim.
I'm gonna say a 9, just because that's what I think.
You're drunk, Jesus Christ. Pascal.
Me, I give it an 8. I really enjoyed the change in the game. I'm still enjoying the change in the game. Of course, don't get me wrong. I still miss the old game, but yeah, for me, like, we're playing a new game, and we are in a level. So yeah, I give it 8. I love the whole new structure.
Excellent. Micaiah.
I think I'm on the wrong show. I'm people are giving 9s, and I'm, and I think though it's like for me it's like there's certain things about this game like overall, it's like a much lesser score. It was what Phil was talking about, with the events and how things are going. But one thing I was going to mention too is like cave base. There's just constant cave bases in every event now, and it's like it just cuts out. You can't use air, you can't use missiles, cuts out half the game. So there's just so many like problems in the game that just it's like for less than a 5. It's like I feel like I should quit. So I'm going to give it like a 6 or a 7. But there are things like Warpath. If I took out one single feature like Warpath, I'd give it like an 8 or a 9. I love it. But then Warpath comes down and there's problems, and it's like there's diamonds and really cool things like air PvP tunes and splitting out their air and ground, but little things that, and there's a future that's like promised and teased, but then it's like, oh, it's in October, November next year, maybe 6 months from now. So overall, I think like a 7 maybe, but there are definitely little features and there are some diamonds in the rough there that are really good, but unfortunately they're eclipsed by too many problems to actually make it, to get that high score, because it's just way too many things. Anyways, sorry, Lon, that's it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Lady Warrior, what have you got for me?
Well, I've been sitting here, because I listened to Venom, I listened to Slim, I listened to Pascal, Micaiah, and I'm kind of in between all of that, really. I would say I would probably give it a 7.5, maybe closer to an 8. I loved the fact that they finally split ground and air for repairs and well, not for repairs. God, sorry, I'm tired. For upgrades, that was a cool thing. The one little mini event where they put a lot of the old units out there, I thought that was really cool, and it wasn't overly difficult. This new air PvP thing, I'm not sure about because I haven't played yet today to even have a go at it. I like that we have the new CM and all of the information he's putting out there on the forums, and he's giving us pictures and explaining, and I'm really what this part is for and how much it is, and I really, really like that a lot. Still way too many DCs. Still the repair cost is too high. So I don't think I'm going to go more than a 7.5.
Alrighty. Champ, what have you got for me, buddy?
I'm kind of in agreement with Lady Warrior there. I'll give it a 7. This has been a lot past year. Faction units, faction bases. I just remember in the past, like, complaining Kickside needs to balance this game because it's way over-P'd. I mean, it's OP'd. We can't defend our base against the Herald, this and that. Now they came out with these new units, Phalanx and Technicals. We can defend our base, but now it's, I think it's pretty well balanced now. So actually, I'll bump that up to an 8. I'll take away 20% for the disconnects and things like that. But I think Kickside is on the right track. I really like the way the game's evolved, especially with the Warpath. The Warpath is a lot of fun, despite the screw up today. But yeah, they're doing a pretty good job.
Alrighty. Dutch, what have you got for me, buddy?
I give it an 8. In general, I didn't have that much issues with the game. If I had issues and I sent a ticket to support, was good. In general, Kickside worked out a lot of issues, and they've been creative with bases that gives out tech and units. They've been listening here and there to the players, and they change things to advantage us and both Kickside. So yeah, they deserve from me. They deserve an 8.
Excellent stuff. Devo, what have you got for me, buddy?
All right, this is probably going to cause some problems, but I'm going to go with a 9.
Whoa.
In reality, I think at the end of the day, we just got to stop being whiny bitches about it, and give them credit where credit is due. I have also, like I said, I've also succumbed to a lot of problems in the game, but I mean, it's human nature, like it was already stated once today, that I can give everybody on this panel a $100 bill or $100, and somebody's going to complain about the denomination. Oh, he gave me 1s instead of 20s. Oh, he gave me 100. So, I mean, in reality, it's.
If you gave me $101 bills, I'd be straight down the strip club.
But I'm just saying. I mean,
I'd go to the back and exchange for pennies and then go to the strip club.
There's nothing wrong with $101 bills.
People are always going to complain. People are always going to have problems, and I'll be the first to admit it. I'm going to be right there with you, complaining and bitching. But I really take a look at this game, and I'm old school, man. Like I said, I've been playing this game for years. I've been playing this game since before Open Map even came out. This game has come a long fucking way, and even though it still has its quirks and its problems, it's still progressing in great fashion. And I will throw this out there just in case Kix happens to be listening. I gave you a 9. If you want a 10 from me, all I need you to do is that every time you put out a unit, and then you give us shadow ops for the tech, the next event needs to have all the tech in there for us to buy with our XP gain from that new event. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like I said, overall, man, I definitely give it a 9, and I'm definitely very satisfied as a customer, as a player.
Nice to give him a sense
like I said, with any game you play, you can exactly. But with any game you play, you're going to have the ups and downs. So I think they're definitely on the right path, and I can't wait to see what next year brings for us. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, wow. A little bit stunned by that one myself.
I told you my answer was going to get me in trouble, but I like I said,
no trouble. It's more
if you really look bad.
I'll rewatch this bit later and then realize what you said and go, you motherfucker. And of course it's my turn because fuck you, David. No, I'm kidding, David. You're next.
I fart in your general direction.
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries.
I had to play that one just for you, Doc.
You get me copyright flagged, I'm kicking your ass.
It wasn't 30 seconds, so you won't get it.
Good.
In any case, I'm going to give it an 8.5, 8 3/4. How's that? They have made significant improvements.
Wait a minute, 8 3/4?
God, David, no.
8.75 for those that
I
want to
would
do
like.
You just messed up my math altogether.
Okay,
like
can you
to
do it?
change
splitting up the 100?
8.5 or just 8?
I would
Okay,
like to
I'll
change.
give it. Okay, let's give it a 9, just like Debo. They have made significant improvements on the game, regardless of the little downfalls we've had with the game. Warpath being an issue right now. Instead of them continuing it, they actually stopped it. I'll give them props for that one. Instead of trying to fix it and keep it going, there's a problem with it. They stopped it.
Yeah.
So they have. Has everybody noticed the cheats, the twat waffles, the hackers, the whatever you want to call them? A lot of those have been fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of them are still out there. You know, they will get patched eventually, but the significant amounts of time that they have spent on it, I will give them props on. Leaderboard, who cares? All right. And for those people that are bitching about it on the forums, they'll get it fixed. They're redoing it, so don't ask.
It's not getting fixed. No. It's not getting fixed.
It's getting completely redone.
Yes.
It's getting completely
Stop
redone.
asking for it to be fixed and just wait until the new one is completely designed and released. Stop worrying about it fixed. Wait until the new one comes. Would you rather have a car that has a fixed front axle, or would you rather have a brand new fucking Ferrari?
I'd rather have a brand new fucking Ferrari, but that's besides the point because I'm going to sell the fuck.
Fear the Pill would actually rather walk than have a car.
Fear the Pill would rather go play Pokemon Go than have a car.
Theo would walk and
Shut
double
up!
catch the
No,
bus.
that's it.
Okay. With that being said, the last event I didn't like. It was a flop. Too many changes. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand Pixar is trying to find that happy medium, but they're always going to make a change to the event. They'll fuck it up the first one like they always do. We all know that. But then the next one gets a little better. And the one after that gets a little better. Then the third and final one is the best one they've ever released on it. You know, we all say that. And then, of course, they make more changes. Something we all have to accept. The game is forever evolving. It is a forever upgrade. So with that, I mean, everybody's, as Debo said, everybody's going to bitch and find something to bitch about. Whether it be he gives everybody $100. I'm not going to complain whether it's in ones, quarters, pennies. I don't give a shit. You know?
I could just see Debo with a dump truck just appearing with $100 in pennies outside David's house.
Go for it. I don't care. I will roll every fucking one of those, or better yet, I'll take it to the coin machine in Walmart.
Yeah, David's going to start walking around Walmart with a bag full of pennies.
Now you don't go to the kiosk in any of these coin stars or whatever because they end up taking money from
Oh, they rob the shit out of you.
Okay.
20% off the top.
I'll pull a dock. I'll roll them all up, and and pull them all up, and I'll go to the strip club with them. Here you go, right down the G string. It fell out.
A roll of pennies. Jesus Christ.
I will change my name to some ridiculous symbol. I will take all of those pennies and weld them to something, and I will sell it at a Manhattan art museum for $1 million.
For $100 million.
$1 million. Okay. So with that, Doc, it is all you.
Well, I mean, ironically, I'd be reading some of the YouTube chat while people were discussing this.
I got one other thing. Where the fuck are our mugs?
I'm working on it.
I know. I'm waiting forever.
It happened when it happens. I'm having my problems.
I know.
Doc, a beer mug for me, please.
You get a cup and like it, champ.
He'll get a beer stein.
No, he'll get a cup and like it.
He gets a paper cup.
Will you shut up? God fucking damn it. It'll happen when it happens and not when it before.
He's going to mute us all in a minute.
My brain's going to fucking explode in a minute.
Deep, soothing breaths.
We're all down to me at this point. And I mean, I read a few comments in the YouTube chat and had a bit of a giggle at some of them. And if Doc gives it higher than a 6, I'm going to cry, I believe was one of the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, so you better get some tissues out because it's not going to go good for you at this point.
I said lower.
The year in review is probably a good solid 7.5.
Ooh.
Maybe an 8. Because in the last year they've gone uphill and they've gone downhill and they've brought themselves back and they've released some stuff to counter other things and they've got rid of a good portion of these roachy little bastards.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them, I don't agree with some of the stances that they've taken with some of these particular people, rather than just outrightly punishing them like they should have done. Taking away what they've cheated is all well and good, but not giving them any kind of reprimand like we'd have seen in the old days with a reset base, or giving them back a level 30 base like they've done in the past. Oh, we'll give you this and this and this, and that's it. No more.
Yeah.
I disagree with that standpoint. I mean, I understand they want to keep players around, but do you want to keep that kind of player around? Because there are still people that get away with manipulations and cheats and glitching and various other things that I don't want to mention on air that I know about, because there are still prolific cheaters in the game. You don't see them like they would you used to. The 50 sandstorms, or the 1,000 abandoned ship drones, or the 50 Legion clones that one dickhead would send at your base, or a whole bunch of other shit that would happen in the process. You don't see that shit anymore. But there are still issues that KixEye need to sort out in that department. And I'm sure over time they will, which is fine and dandy. And the reason it gives it an 8 is because a lot of these problems that need to be fixed haven't been fixed. The problems with disconnects, the problems with the lag, the repeated cycle of having a good event and then a horrible event and a mediocre event and then having a good event. That cycle of crap needs to end real fast. The situation with having 18,000 cave bases is annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I exaggerate a little on the cave bases, but there were 5 cave bases I counted in the last event. 5!
I still hold to what I stated to you, which is, if on the map it doesn't appear to be a cave, it shouldn't have been a fucking
shouldn't
cave.
be.
That last base should not have been intended to be a cave. The amount of damage that people had to take was bullshit to begin with. Having a little bit of air, even if it was only bone saws or whatever, would have been vital.
And it just grinds me the wrong way. And I don't like it. I mean, the change to the event was utter bullshit. I mean, yeah, reducing the number of playthroughs was shit. Putting a third of the XP on the last base was shit. Moving that restart token to that spot was shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know enough players that couldn't get that far. Because if you didn't have technicals to do that base, you were going to hurt to do it.
Yep.
I mean, it might have been a buffed 80, but when you're thinking about doing a VK80, the normal ones, you can do them with a whole bunch of other units. But when you're stuck with doing it with Liberators and Hammers and Technicals and Bone Saws, what kind of fucking use is a Bone Saw if it's going to get shot down in one hit? I do believe the answer you're looking for there is not good at all. There's no real tactical strategy in a lot of this stuff. And when KixEye say, oh, we want it to be skill-based, no, that's a lie. You just want people to spend a lot of money to do it. I mean, there are folks out there that have maxed units and know them inside and out and know what to do with them and can get away with minimal repairs, because it can be done if you're teched out right, your units are the right level, and you know how to drive them. I mean, I did a lot of the. I mean, I've proved it multiple times. Sometimes it's not about what you have; it's about how you use it. On multiple occasions. I mean, the first Blackout video. I mean, people were complaining about it because the base couldn't do this and you couldn't do this with the base. And I was like, hang on a minute. All right. And I did. I touted my own shit, which I usually don't do. I mean, I put a video out for funnies most of the time. Or if I think I can do it in a way that makes it original. Rather than doing it the same way everyone else does it. I mean, doing it with certain units. I mean, I watched Lonnie drop a base with his technicals in seconds. Whereas it took me 3 or 4 minutes. Because I'm using still level 1 units. Because I'm that far fucking behind that I have to. Which is fine. And I mean, if you can do it with any type of level, then you're good to go. From the get-go. I mean, the new unit, I'm not impressed with. So far, it hasn't impressed anything on me. Just because of what it is and how it works. I'm not impressed. However, I mean, I've gone way off a segue at this point. I've gone way off what I was planning to talk and say at the end of this. But yeah, I give it a good. I'll give it an 8, because in the last year, a lot of things have changed. Some good, some bad. To get a 10, Kixeye have never gotten a 10 from me ever, and they probably never will. They've gotten close, but no 10s. Unless they start to give me a bunch of gold, which I'm always open to a good bribe. But that being said, I think we've pretty much gone through everything. We've done the year-in reviews and pretty much the current state of the game. We've gone through the update notes. We've dealt with the bullshit. We've updated the community the best way we know how to do. And, of course, we'll go ahead and we'll throw some shout-outs out there, and we'll get this bitch closed for the night. So, David, give me a shout-out on the last words for the night.
What the fuck? You want to go to me this time now first? Asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to keep.
Okay. You got to keep me on my toes. Okay, all right. Shout out to everybody.
Okay, David's done.
Oh, yeah, fuck off. Yeah. Shout out to everybody on the panel for coming and joining the show, doing your little rants, raves, and whatever else you want to do. Everybody out on YouTube for watching the show and listening to us morons talk about this damn fucking game. and the millions that will watch it later or rewatch it. So, Doc, for you putting on the show, Venom, for you actually showing up for the show. Lady Warrior for giving me a good burn for once.
That was funny.
Yes,
I love you, David.
Yes, I know. But you can't love me too much because you do have a boyfriend. So
Yeah, kind of.
And I don't do married women or women with somebody. So
Well, let's just not even discuss that because, never mind.
Anyway, batteries not included. So with that, I am pretty much done. Who's next on the burner?
Devo.
Oh, shout out to the panel. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Shout out to all the assholes out there. And, as bad as you think it's going to get, it's only going to get better. Stay positive. Keep trucking along. Enjoy the fucking PvP event.
Good stuff. Dutchy man, what have you got for me?
Shout out to the panel and to YouTube. And if Warped actually going to work tomorrow, good luck everybody with that.
Excellent stuff. Champ, you're going to shout outs, my friend?
Yeah, as usual, shout out to you guys on the panel and YouTube. I'm actually starting to post on the forums again. So if you catch me on there, I'm posting stuff like just questions about certain things. Like the other day, I posted about question about the detonators and how you guys use them and all that. But but it's been a while since I've been on there, so it's nice. One shout out to
this time.
Yeah. I'll be nice on there too. I'm not gonna be my own self again. But shout out to new gal and support Elizabeth. Thank you, and she done me right. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Lady Warrior, have you got any shout outs, Emily?
Oh, shout out to the panel. Shout out to everybody out there in YouTube land. Shout out to Suskew, and that's it.
All right, Mackay, have you got any shout outs, buddy?
I'd like to give a shout out to the legend, Shadow Killer. I started. He was like the legend even before he left, and I'm glad he's checking us out and still around. And I wish him all the luck. And shout out to Phil. I know we're kind of doing a review, but Phil's kind of just the consistency and always that's amazing. I can't do it, so it's awesome. And a big shout out to YouTube. I mean, it's I love chatting in the chat and BSing and talking and the community and the people that that's what we put it on. And I'm just happy to kind of sneak in here and unofficially, and it's awesome. So appreciate it all and hope everybody has a even better next year.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Pascal, have you got any shout outs, my brother? Pascal.
Somebody poke you with a stick.
He's in the game right now, so I think he's either going to bubble somebody or doing something.
We need a
Hi, I was muted myself.
There he is.
David, this is special for you. I hope you make the screenshot that I sent you earlier. This is not my base. And I want to shout out to all the innocent victims that we encounter in the game. It's just a game, guys. It's a war game. It's not sit back, relax, and chill. It's you can attack each other, and no need to be angry about pixels.
I would agree. Very much so.
So, and to the panel, great to be back. And for everybody that cannot see the next show and the final show for this year, I want to wish you all the best of holiday season days and enjoy. Don't get too fat.
Always get too fat, man. It's Christmas.
Yes.
You can always worry about the gym in December when everyone signs up for the gym membership. They go once and never use it for the rest of the year.
David, did you look good to my base now? Oh, David.
Yes, I've got a screenshot of it now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I am studying it.
Slam, you got any shout outs, buddy?
Yeah. Fuck this month's event. Or Christmas. Fuck it. Okay. Shout out to me. And you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. Upgrade and collect your Gen 2 units. Do your raids, get all your stuff, because Gen 3 is coming out next week or this week. I promise.
Get out.
Shout out to the panel.
Get off my show, you son of a bitch.
Oh.
Don't put that fucking kind of shit down. If I could reach through the screen and throttle you right now, I would.
Oh.
Love you guys. Have a good night.
You're in so much trouble.
Venom, can you please redeem this mother bitch?
Speculation notwithstanding, shout out to all the members of the panel today. Shout out to all the viewers out there watching now and the large viewership and subscribers to both the Unshackled channel and the Unshackled webpage on Facebook. And certainly a shout out to Kicksai's development team And the arts and crafts team, because I think they've done an excellent job recently with the game as far as artistic and a little bit of the technical parts of the game. Obviously, they still have a lot of people. Hey, Ziggy. A lot. Big shout out to Ziggy.
Yeah.
And shout out to Shadow Killer for gracing us with his presence today. It's always a pleasure to have him here, whether he is still in game on a constant basis or just periodically. It's nice to have, somebody from the past remind us of potential escape. That's it for me.
Okay. Couple of things for this evening. First of all, to Hunter, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. You can go fuck yourself.
Yes, thank you. Okay, next.
The Immortal One does not do Christmas crap. I don't do Christmas songs. There will no be Christmas songs ever. I would rather take a bullet. So shut your goddamn dirty whore mouth and quit asking.
Happy Hanukkah.
Oh no, what have I done? What have I done?
And of course, are you done? Are you done?
Happy Kwanzaa.
Jingle balls, jingle all night.
We're not going down Pascal's jingle balls, Ali. We've done that too many times.
Oh.
Don't be a Grinch. I am the Grinch. And the Grinch didn't hate Christmas. He hated people. So there.
Oh, then I am the ultimate Grinch.
I'll fight you to the death for it.
You will not survive, sir.
Ebenezer Phil.
Ebenezer Phil. Can I finish now, please?
Yeah.
I'd like to be bed anytime soon. So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Shout out to the YouTube. Shout out to all the guys on the panel. To the legendary Shadow Killer who dropped in for a while. Of course, the lovely Skipjack who also dropped in. And yeah, shout out to me. Because I'm... and it's not going to change. No matter how much bullshit I have to go through, no matter how much fucking shit I have to put up with from a bunch of people who half the time don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And if you want to take anything of mine into question and start talking about it in global, in the same sector that I'm in, and expect me not to fucking read it, or not to have people send me screenshots of the global chat while you're talking shit about me, I will find out by any means necessary. And then when it's all said and done, and you and your little buddies are crying in a corner because some people are smashing you and won't leave you alone, you're welcome. Good night.